My name is Shaheeb Sher. I'm the Omnipotent one from the United Kingdom. One of my interests in the world is Afghanistan and the Afghanistan withdrawal from America. I think that it is very significant to have America withdraw from Afghanistan recently under President Joe Biden. I think it changes a lot of the military presence in the world by America, and I think it is a very significant development in the world. I think America's been in Afghanistan for 20 years. It invaded Afghanistan under President George W. Bush, and I think that the result of that invasion was to defeat the Taliban in Afghanistan. I think the Taliban withdrew to Pakistan because they were heavily outnumbered and defeated by America. So I think that during that 20-year period in Afghanistan, I think that the Taliban have been based in Pakistan, in Waziristan province. I think that's where 100,000 Taliban soldiers were based. So I think Pakistan does have a big involvement with the Afghan war and the American military presence there. It's been housing those 100,000 Taliban soldiers for 20 years. I think it's been supplying them, feeding them, looking after them, and that has big consequences for the Afghanistan war because these Taliban fighters could have been depleted, they could have been defeated by America as well, but because they were being supplied and housed and in relative safety within Pakistan, America could have stayed in Afghanistan for longer than it had to. So that's quite a serious concern, especially for the American public, because I think they do have an interest in this. I don't know how many people have died in Afghanistan. It could be something like 1.5 million people. That could be how many people that have died in America. In Afghanistan. And I think it's cost something like $1 trillion as well. That's how much it's cost. I think that's how much the Afghanistan war has cost. So I think that's quite an important factor. And I think because of these reasons, it's quite controversial. I think the Afghanistan war is quite controversial for America. And I think especially its withdrawal from Afghanistan could be seen as slightly controversial and quite humiliating as well. I think that America has been based in Afghanistan for over 20 years, and it took the Taliban just 2 months to force America to withdraw from Afghanistan. And I think this is kind of very serious for America in the world because it has nothing to show. It has nothing to show for that 20-year presence. And I think this is quite important because there's a cause for concern of why America has been forced to withdraw from Afghanistan so easily by Taliban soldiers, and particularly because they're Taliban fighters, and they're incapable. They're incapable compared to the American military, and it is quite a sizable military in Afghanistan. So I think the way that America is reacting to this is in a very depressed, shocked and serious way, in a very concerned way, but a subdued way. And I think that it's had to resort to a heavy drink or something, because I don't think it quite can understand what has happened with the Afghanistan war and the Afghanistan withdrawal. So I think that is quite serious at the moment for America. I think they're coming to terms with to what's happened in Afghanistan with the Afghanistan war. Now they've withdrawn from it, and now that the Taliban are back in power in Afghanistan, it's kind of raising questions that what has been the purpose of this Afghanistan war. And I think that's what people are asking in the world. We've had a lot of fatalities, maybe 1.5 million. It's cost $1 trillion. And now we're back to square one with the Taliban back in power in Afghanistan, pretty much with the same conditions before the Afghanistan war, as before the Afghanistan war. And I think these conditions include bad education for women, which is not good. I think populations should be educated so they can govern themselves, manage themselves, lead a healthy life, and they can have the intelligence to do what they can with life. So I think education is important for women. So I think now that the Taliban are back in power, we've lost education for women. There's issues with food security as well, and that creates poverty and deprivation, and it creates some kind of issue there. But I think that the Taliban are perhaps not the best people to govern and lead Afghanistan. So I think we do have a problematic situation in Afghanistan now, and this is perhaps because of the turmoil conditions in which America has had to abandon Afghanistan with its withdrawal. I don't think it's left much there. It's not left much of a government, despite its military presence. It's not left much of an economic development or economy there. So that the people are having to deal with some kind of conflict and rebuilding Afghanistan after the 20-year Afghanistan war. So they're having to rebuild that as well. And of course there's been a lot of limbs lost as well with Taliban soldiers, and a lot of health conditions, and Afghan people who've suffered health conditions, and Taliban soldiers who've had to suffer health conditions. So there's some kind of health condition issue there as well. And I think that the Taliban are very extreme Muslims as well. They're very extreme in their Islamic thought. So they have Islamic theology within their government. The Taliban, who believe in strict Islamic law, that's why they're Taliban. And so we have kind of Islamic law in Afghanistan and with the Taliban government. So I think that it's an extreme Islamic state, a religious Taliban state. So we could have issues like those Buddhist statues that were blown up, that were damaged. We could have issues like that again. And those are sensitive issues. We could have issues with other Islamic interpretations and concerns in the world. And I think that for there to be a recurrence of these Islamic concerns from Afghanistan, could create some kind of Islamic tension in the Muslim world again. So I think that's one of my views about the Afghanistan withdrawal with America.